This episode of Nerdist News is sponsored by Captive State. Is Avengers Endgame setting up the Young Avengers? What a time to be a Marvel fan! From word that James Gunn is returning to the Guardians of the Galaxy for Volume 3 to a new Avengers Endgame trailer dropping, this week has been nothing but thumbs up for fans of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And of course, fans have already dissected every square pixel of the new Avengers spot in hopes of piecing together what will happen beyond. Everyone is sad. New and old theories have made the rounds across the internet, but it's one shot in particular that has caught the internet's eye, and it involves another team of superheroes, the Young Avengers. Now, before we dive in, if you haven't seen Captain Marvel yet, or you don't want to hear Avengers Endgame theories that may or may not turn out to be correct, then run for cover, because there will be spoilers. Still here? Of course you are. So what's the shot in question? Who are the Young Avengers, and how do these things relate? Well, let's break it down. First up, the shot sparking all of the debate is this blink and you'll miss it shot of Hawkeye training a young woman to shoot a bow and arrow. While the girl is most likely Hawkeye's daughter, Lila Barton, who we last saw in Avengers Age of Ultron, fans are pointing to a resemblance to someone else in the comics, specifically the unofficial leader of the Young Avengers, Kate Bishop, aka Hawkeye. And yes, there are two Hawkeyes, kind of like there are two Spider-Men, Miles Morales and Peter Parker. And over the course of the last couple of films, Captain Marvel and Ant-Man and the Wasp, it appears Marvel Studios has been laying the groundwork for the Young Avengers, and they could be showing up in next month's Avengers Endgame. Now, for those of you who don't know, the Young Avengers are essentially the Teen Titans of the Marvel Universe, a group of younger heroes and adolescent equivalents of veteran heroes who team up to offer some super assistance to their older counterparts. Some of the members of the comics team include Speed and Wiccan, the children of Scarlet Witch and the android Vision that somehow are conceived through magic, because comics, and also because magic. Other teammates include Novar, aka Marvel Boy, aka Captain Marvel, as well as Hulkling, a Skrull-Kree hybrid who models himself after the Hulk. And while there are quite a few other members of the Young Avengers, only one of them, albeit in civilian form, has shown up in the movie so far, Cassie Lang, also known in the comics as the hero Stature. Cassie, of course, is the daughter of Ant-Man, who follows in her dad Scott Lang's tiny footsteps by becoming another size-altering superhero. We've seen Cassie in the two Ant-Man films, and in Ant-Man and the Wasp, she even talks about her hopes to one day become her dad's sidekick. Of course, she seems a little young to be taking up the mantle right now, but there have been multiple rumors that actor Emma Fuhrmann has been cast in the role of an older Cassie Lang in Avengers Endgame. Adding fuel to this theory, Captain Marvel's Monica Rambeau. While not a member of the Young Avengers, Monica Rambeau is another MCU character who in the comics becomes an Avenger. In Monica's case, she becomes the superhero Photon, and she was even Captain Marvel way before Carol Danvers. Of course, in the movie, they swapped the age difference, making Monica the younger of the two, and just like Scott Lang's daughter Cassie, Monica also has a scene in Captain Marvel where she expresses hope that she will one day get to don her mentor's super suit. So that's two MCU movies in a row to feature scenes where young women talk about becoming future superheroes. And sure, maybe it's just a coincidence, but knowing how interconnected Marvel makes its movies, that does seem a little unlikely. The more likely bet is that they're laying the groundwork for something bigger, like the Young Avengers. But how exactly would these characters jump from young kids to full-fledged heroes in the course of two movies? As we mentioned in Nerdist News on Thursday, the evidence continues to stack up that a lot of Endgame will involve time travel. The time vortices, the time travel vortexes. The time vortices in Ant-Man and the Wasp, the behind-the-scenes photos of Ant-Man at the Battle of New York, and so on and so forth. The new trailer this week gives us an even closer look at those new white suits we see the surviving Avengers strutting their stuff in. We mentioned yesterday that those suits remind us of PIM Technology suits. Well, kudos to Den of Geeks for pointing out why the suits jogged our memories. They are basically modified versions of Ant-Man's PIM Technology suit. So there you go. Also, they look awesome. They remind me of Mass Effect, just saying. So similar to the very existence of the quantum realm and the time vortices, I don't know. It seems like Marvel has been sprinkling in hints of a new generation of Avengers, and we could be seeing them in action in Avengers Endgame via some quantum realm time hopping. But what does this all mean if we add up the clues? Well, we suspect that some of the Avengers are going to end up traveling through the past and future of the MCU in an effort to stop Thanos. And it doesn't seem outside the realm of possibility that we could see them jumping to the not-too-distant dystopian future, where Cassie Lang is Stature, Monica Rambeau is Photon or the new Captain Marvel, and Clint Barton's daughter is the new Hawkeye. And they've teamed up with other, now grown-up young Avengers to keep the world from completely falling apart due to Thanos' snap. We've heard rumors that Endgame will supposedly introduce a whole bunch of new characters, and a brand new roster of future heroes would certainly take care of all of that. But what do you folks think? How likely is it the Young Avengers will show up in Endgame? If time travel is involved, what other Marvel heroes from different eras would you like to see on screen? And who is your favorite Captain Marvel? Carol Danvers, Marvel, Monica Rambeau, or Shazam?
Sup, I'm a superhero.
Let's discuss Shazam. Thanks again to Captive State for sponsoring today's episode. From the director of Rise of the Planet of the Apes comes Captive State, set in a Chicago neighborhood nearly a decade after an occupation by an extraterrestrial force. Captive State explores the lives on both sides of the conflict, the legislature and the resistance. 10 years later, Gabriel, the catalyst for the resistance, rises as their leader, sparking a fire that ignites the war for the world. Watch Captive State now, playing in theaters.